Hey there, monkeys. Let me say that I'm sorry for neglecting this channel. I've been working hard on the site and my other YouTube channel. Now that I know people are interested, I'll work harder to upload more videos here. So, we should get started right away. Whether or not you know, I've been a big fan of Grantchester since it first aired back in 2014. Here recently, the show has gone through major transitions. The reign of James Norton is over, and Tom Brittney is now King Vicar. Tom Brittney stars as Reverend Davenport, who is a tad bit more modern than Sydney Chambers. He rides a motorcycle and likes to box. Well, the 5th season hasn't started airing in the United States yet, so it's a perfect time to get caught up. In this video, we'll take a look at the biggest events from last season, and we'll look forward to the next. I'll try to avoid spoilers so you can watch it if you haven't seen the season yet. Alright, let's jump right in. Last season, we lost Sydney Chambers. He fell in love with Violet and left to America at the end of the 2nd episode, opening the door for Will Davenport to take control. I really wasn't thrilled with the departure of Sydney. It felt a bit too rushed for me, but I thought the season got much better when Sydney was gone. Still, I like Sydney and James Norton, so I hope the best for him. Let's just imagine that he secured a job as a priest in Warrenville, Illinois, and had 5 children with his new wife. Alright, back to reality. It took a bit of time to get comfortable with Will. I'm just now starting to find him very likable. The 4th season did a really good job with that. We found out quickly that Will had a few skeletons in his closet. For instance, his father was abusive. His name was Thomas. It didn't help that he was a con man and a murderer. His illegal actions would be revealed, but he would not go down without a fight. Instead, Thomas would end up killing himself before the season was over. This would put Will and his mother Amelia in a tough situation. And that continues on to the next season. As for Leonard and Sylvia, or Mrs. C, well, they had a real falling out last season. Sylvia found out about the relationship between Leonard and Daniel, and she wasn't happy about it. She wanted it to end. They eventually came to agreement and managed to smooth things over, at least a little bit. I still think their relationship is a bit strained, though. And also, last season was a very big one for Cathy Keating, Geordie's wife. She was getting harassed at work by a co-worker. Nothing she did or said would stop him. And she hid that problem from Geordie, and that created tension between them. By the time the 4th season ended, the pervert had been dealt with, and their relationship was good again. I really liked this side story last season. I found it entertaining and different. It seems like the writers are going to focus a lot on the Keating family in the next season, too. Now let's jump forward to season 5 of Grantchester. The season started in the United Kingdom on January the 10th of this year. The opening episode drew 5.45 million viewers. That isn't too shabby, and I'm hopeful that it'll be enough to keep the show going. Anyhow, there are several big storylines with Will this season. First, he's worried about his mother, Amelia. He wants her to move forward with her life, but he is suspicious of her new love interest, St. John. Second, Will has a love interest of his own, in the form of Ellie, but there are 2 major problems here. Geordie won't stop telling everyone that Will is celibate. I think the whole town of Grantchester has heard by now. Anyway, it's also important to note that Ellie is a journalist. You have to worry that she's using Will to obtain information about crimes and investigations going on in Grantchester. I've watched the first 2 episodes so far, and I'm not really a big fan of Ellie. Just yet, anyway. We'll see if that changes as the series continues onward. I think they're going to push that pair together, though, regardless of what I think. And the season has also brought another struggle for Cathy. She has been taking on more responsibility at work, so Geordie has decided to ask for help for her mother, Diana. Diana agrees and she moves into the house with the Keating family. Unfortunately, it looks like there's going to be tension between Diana and her daughter. She doesn't approve of her daughter's actions. I'm thinking she wants her daughter to quit her job and focus on her responsibilities at home. And from time to time this season, she gets a bit rude with her daughter. So I'm thinking this will become a bigger storyline as this season continues. That is really the biggest storyline featuring Geordie this season. It feels like the writers are pushing his wife and family into the spotlight a little bit more, while pushing Geordie just to back a little bit. The season introduced us to several new characters, with one being Vic. Vic is a boxing trainer who is working with troubled youth. Instead of going to jail or juvie or whatever, they're sent to the gym to get whipped into shape. Will has spent a lot of time in the gym, and he often confides in Vic when he isn't taking his frustrations out on the heavy bag. Early in the fifth, we're also introduced to Matthew Butler. Matthew is an American who has many problems. He gets caught up in a murder investigation, and he's caught dealing drugs. But Will vouches for him, so he gets sent to the boxing gym where Vic is going to whip him into shape. I'm thinking this relationship will develop into something bigger as it goes along. There's a good chance Will might become a father figure for Matthew. We'll see how that plays out. So I think that covers about everything. I'll say that the first episode of Season 5 is a bit slow. You might not like it that much. But I highly recommend that you stick with it. Things pick up in the second. In general, the show airs in America several months after it finishes in the United Kingdom. At least that's my understanding. I could be wrong. So you can prepare for it that way. If you were a fan of the previous seasons, I recommend giving Season 5 a chance. I've watched the first 2 episodes and the quality has been consistent so far. Be sure to follow Real Mockery. I'll have the recaps and such up on the website as I get around to watching the episodes. And don't hesitate to send me recommendations. I'll give anything and everything a chance. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching, and thanks for using Real Mockery. We'll see you next time.